If we could all rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you take notice to the exits behind you, and there's an exit to our right up here, please put all electronic devices on vibrate. Kathy, the roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Cypress?
Here.
Councilman Larka?
Here.
Councilwoman Lewis?
Here.
Councilman Mazzata?
Here.
Supervisor Durante?
Here. All right, I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session with no action taken.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we can go right into our work session. Today, we have our one and only Jared from the Recreation Department to come up here and give us a little update on recreation and facilities. And after that, he has some guests he brought.
All right, good evening, everybody. Am I good enough, close enough to the mic? This good? Yeah. All right. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jared. I'm the Director of Parks and Rec for the town of Southeast. I've taken new director off because I've spent a year now starting to see people I recognize and whatnot. But thank you guys for having me tonight. Super excited to talk about some of the stuff that we've been working on from a park standpoint, from a program standpoint, and, you know, also, as Nick said, introduce a new sports organization that has come to fruition in town, kind of talk about how that came to be and how we plan to work together for the future, which we'll do at the end. But I figured I'd start with the park side of things. So some exciting things over the past year. First and foremost, at the end of this year, we spent some of our ARPA funds, which is money that was given out by the federal government during COVID, to make some improvements to our parks. So you guys have probably seen our staff working pretty hard over the past few weeks, putting down all new playground safety mulch. We had a huge delivery of sand delivered for some work we're going to be doing at the Tenetta Lake Public Beach, a variety of other things, but kind of just wanted to let the public know we're really putting the focus on trying to bring some of our facilities really up to par and make some, you know, improvements where they're needed. One of the things I've actually been working with Councilman Mazzata on was we're working on improving some of our baseball fields. We've taken some steps to remediate some issues in the short term that will help make the upcoming season, we believe, better for our participants, for the people who rent the fields. But then also we're looking into pursuing some grants. We're even going to be applying for, I believe it's called a CREST grant. Is that correct, Nick? CREST grant, to hopefully make some big changes over time, provided those grants come to fruition. But we do want to see some, as you guys are aware, some improvements at Markel Park. We're trying to put some batting cages up at Volunteer Park, which, as I've said to the board before, I believe if you got ball fields, you should have batting cages as well. Not too expensive, and they go a super long way for the residents and the renters of the fields. So really looking forward to making some much needed improvements, and we've even been, I've been working with Nick, Supervisor Durante and Councilman Larka on a property that the town owns, and potentially having an engineer come in to maybe make some, bring some new facilities to town as well. Obviously, things like that are certainly a long way off, so I don't want you to hold me to that happening right away. But want everybody to know that we're serious about improving our facilities and adding amenities where we can. We're pursuing a lot of grant funding to make sure we do everything that we can to bring some of those dreams to life. One of the things that we're also super excited about, hopefully seeing over the next few months, is how the aeration system that the town board brought in to remediate some of the issues at Tenetta Lake, how that begins to work. I know we got a report from the DEC the other day. I have no idea what any of it means. So we're waiting for the experts to tell us what it means, and hopefully, you know, give us kind of step-by-step instructions to how we can continue to move in the right direction regarding the health of the lake, not only for the town beach, which obviously we want to see open all year, but also for the people who have property on the lake, et cetera. So that's something, once again, it's not going to happen right away. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I saw you guys installed the aeration system. Is everything good now? As we know, nothing, especially with nature, really works that quickly. but we're committed to the project long-term, seeing how it all plays out, and hopefully you guys will see a lot of positive results over the next few years. So
It was turned on Monday.
it was turned on, yes, exactly. It was turned on Monday. Now that the ice is all gone, so. Yeah, I'm just looking at my notes here. Yeah, so from a facility standpoint, those are some of the things we've been working on. And like I said, it's slow. It's not going to be overnight. But every day we are really, trying to put in the work and identify the most important projects we have to, meet short-term obligations, but also plan for the future. And one of the things we did as well, which I didn't mention, is we hired a new parks maintenance worker, Eric DiDio, who's been a godsend to the department and really helping us accomplish so much more than we were able to this time last year. So I got to give him a shout out and kudos, because we're really, I'm sure if you guys have driven by the ball fields, you see him, he was out there on the steamroller today, or I don't think they're steamrollers anymore, but on the roller today, flattening out the baseball fields. Mark, our other maintenance worker, was out there. We measured and put in all new bases on one of our fields, which sounds easy, but it's incredibly difficult because they have to be measured to the inch, and it never works out quite right. But they've been working super hard to, like I said, bring things up to par, and I think you all are going to see some good stuff in the coming months and years. So that's my parks spiel. So on to the rec side. I haven't been here, I realize, in almost about a year. So I feel like I have about a year's worth of things to cover, but I was told not to be long-winded. Nick said make it real quick, which to me was like a challenge to go as long as possible. But yeah, so I kind of figured I'd go back to summer of last year, which is when we ran our Learn to Swim program, and it was super successful. We kind of took a lot of what Kathy and Patty had done previously, brought in with our new staff some new spins, some new ideas, and we got a lot of positive feedback from everyone. And, we saw some things that were like, oh, we could have done better. And this year, we're really looking forward to doing those things better. We've already had really good registration so far. We've filled about 3/4 of our spots. I fully expect the entire program will be full by the time summer starts. We've got a lot of applicants from our high school kids and our college kids who want to come on as lifeguards or program aides. So I believe we're really looking forward to what's going to be an awesome summer. One of the things we also did is a lot of people have a need for a full-day camp, but due to some of the limitations of Castle Park, we're not able to offer it at this time. So what we did was we partnered with a local organization that runs out of Westchester called Never Stop Moving, very reputable. And what they do is all of their staff are physical education or education majors in college or just recently graduated, and they only hire at that level or above. And they're going to come in and run some after swim programming at Castle Park, giving people, basically, if you combine swim and the after swim programs, a full day option, close to as full day as we can get, a full day option, which basically will create a summer camp-like feel, even though technically you're signing up for two different programs. And so far the registration has been good. I do believe that will take a little bit of time to really take because it's something new with a new organization, but I was absolutely blown away by the company when I met with them, got great reviews from people who've worked with them, and like I said, the level of staff they work with is, I believe, really going to help us provide some quality programming after swim. So that's kind of last year combined with this year. Some other things that have happened over the past few months. Our football season was a super success, which will kind of yield to you guys coming up shortly. Football and cheer season was awesome. We had, obviously, as you guys know, myself and Chris Heller and John Fenty, who run the department on the administrative side, none of us have really any football or cheer experience. And so we relied heavily on the coaches, on the volunteers, on the parents to really help us make the season a success. And everybody came through in just amazing ways. And I got to give all of them, all the coaches, all the team parents, credit for really coming together to make it such a good season. And I will return back to football real quick because I want to obviously introduce our guests. But on top of football and basketball, which is a program going on right now, which is some of our bigger programs, also successful, one of the things we've tried to do is really start to tap into some more diverse ranges of activities, things that either haven't been offered in a while, because as Kathy said, a lot of things kind of, during COVID, a lot of these smaller organizations basically folded, and So we've slowly started to bring some of them back. We've been doing some paint nights. We actually have an art program for kids where they come out and they're 3-week blocks and they get to learn about a certain artist and then create their own painting in that discipline. I don't know a lot about art, but like, for example, one of the sessions they're doing Picasso, and they learn about Picasso and why he painted the way he did, which is obviously a rather unique style, and then they get to create their own painting with their own ideas, but in the style of Picasso. So we're starting to, like I said, tap into some new disciplines to hopefully bring in a diverse range of participants. And that's not only on the youth side, but the adult side as well. We're starting this knitting club, which we're getting off the ground on, I believe, next Saturday. And basically people get to meet once a week at Lakeview, and they could bring their knitting stuff, and they have coffee, and they hang out, and it's a social club, and we have someone there who knows how to knit to teach people who have never done it before. So we're trying to tap into, like I said, different demographics, through a wide variety of age ranges, and we'll continue to add more as opportunities become available and, our resources and time allow. So super excited to see, how some of these new things pan out over time, especially. And then we're bringing back some things that, like to Patty and Kathy's credit, they ran this great laser tag program with First Person Sports. It kind of, it struggled in our first year, but we're bringing it back. We had a successful fall season. And that, once again, you're tapping into a demographic that maybe they don't play traditional sports. Maybe they're not interested in some of those things, but they're gamers. And then they want to come out and they get to play laser tag in the woods at Castle Park, which is, honestly, it looks awesome. So, so like I said, we're really trying to broaden her horizons as much as possible. So I think that kind of talks about most of what we've been doing. Before I introduce the new sports group in town, do you guys have any questions about anything? Or Nick?
April 5th.
April 5th. Oh, great, yes. Okay, some upcoming activities and events, absolutely. So something really cool we're doing, speaking of the arts, is we have a local college student who produced a feature-length film. It's called In Headlights, and his name is Joe C., because I really don't know how to pronounce his last name. And we are going to be hosting him at the Lakeview Manor Community Center. We're going to be screening his movie on the big screen there, totally free. It is a movie for adults. It's a drama, and from what I've been told, it deals with some rather heavy material, but I've also been told by Nick specifically, Supervisor Durante, sorry, I'll try not to do that, that it is phenomenal, especially for a 19-year-old having produced it. So we're going to show it on the big screen, have some popcorn. Joe, the producer, is going to do a question and answer session after. And once again, just another way where we're trying to broaden that, what we offer, and hopefully inspire, people to, not that there'll be many kids there because of the theme of it, but just inspire, older kids and whatnot to pursue their passions, Some other things coming up, since we're talking about upcoming, if I may, real quick.
I told my wife it's like date night.
There you go,
Goes out to
perfect.
Lakeview.
Yeah. So everyone's invited, like I said, free of charge, no registration required. It's a 7 o'clock showing on April 5th. Just a few other things we do have coming up. We just did a successful St. Patrick's Day paint night. We're going to be doing another one in May. So I'm not sure what the theme of it's going to be yet. I think it might be kind of a welcome summer type of theme. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested. Our Easter egg hunt is coming up in the middle of April. I believe it's April 12th. I didn't write down the date, but it's all on our website. Totally free event. We're actually going to be doing it this year at Electrazone because we needed a space that was wide open and dry. And we did speak with the village about using a parking lot adjacent to Electrazone Park. And also, we want to see more things done there because literally nothing is really ever done there. So we're really trying to kind of enlighten people like, hey, this is a facility and hopefully we'll be doing more here. So that's on April 12th. And once again, free of charge. Registration is required though. And yeah, I think those are like the main things. So any other questions?
Thank you. How about it?
No? All right, cool. Awesome. So going back to football and cheer, one thing I wanted to, you guys are here today. So I want to introduce the new sports organization in town called the Brewster Southeast Youth Sports That's what you guys are called, right? Okay, cool, got it. I have the acronym here, but not the actual written out. So during football season, went to the town board and I said, listen, this is an awesome program and we're really, really happy with how it went and really happy with the legacy that so many people who've been involved in the program have built. But in my opinion, being someone, I've been in Parks and Rec for about 15 years, I didn't believe that running a tackle football program and a full youth cheer program should be the function of a Parks and Recreation department. And there were a number of reasons for that, which I won't go into the whole thing, but basically it requires a tremendous amount of resources above and beyond what general recreation programs will. And in order for the people of the community to get the type of program that they want, we need to be able to give them resources that most municipal parks and recreation departments can't offer. Not only from a time standpoint, but also certain things. So there are certain things that youth sports organizations would like to do that municipalities just cannot do because of municipal law. So we discussed it at length, and like I said, we had this amazing group of volunteers this year, and so Supervisor Durante and myself just started talking to some people and said, hey, basically every other town in the area, and when I say basically, I mean every other town, no other town runs their football and cheer program municipally. It's all run by a third-party organization. In Carmel, you have CRIFAC, Mayapack, you have MSA, on and on, so on and so forth. So we brought together some people, some of whom Nick knew, who have been involved with the program for years, others who we just met in the past few years who are a little bit newer, and we brought the minds together and we said, hey, we need to form an organization on town who can do this and meet the needs of the community better than our department is able to. What do you guys think? And I think as we expected, they all rose to the occasion, not surprisingly, like I said, because they did it all year long. And ultimately, they came together to form the Brewster Southeast Youth Sports Organization. And their goal and mission will be to provide not only football and cheer for the community moving forward, starting with this upcoming season, which, believe it or not, is going to be here in no time, but the future, and potentially, as Adriana, you've said, potentially add other sports into the organization's umbrella. So they're here today to kind of introduce themselves, introduce the organization, and I'll bring them up now if you guys want to come up. And I'll just say this, we're really excited to be working with them, and just as we do with Brewster Little League, we have a great partnership with them in terms of having them at our fields and supporting their organization. We plan on doing the same for this new organization. And one of the concerns that we had heard, Nick and I heard this a lot, was like, oh, are you just offloading the program because you don't want to do it anymore? It's actually the contrary, right? We want to see this program succeed. We believe we have the right people at the helms to do that, and we want to support you guys as you go down this road, whether that's from a facility standpoint, having meetings at our buildings, or using our fields for practices, or just from resources about learning how to do this from, like I said, we've been doing it for quite a while. So we're here for you guys. We're super excited for you. And I know it's kind of cheesy, but I think everybody should give this group a round of applause for stepping up and doing this good work. So behind me, we have Adriana, Mike, and Jeff. They're on the board of BSEYS, and they will, yeah, whatever you just said. No SE, okay, got it. BSYS, the business. So they're going to come up and say a little bit, and I think I'm done for the night. So.
Kind of laughing because Adriana's under the light there.
Yeah, she's definitely trying not to be under the light.
Thanks, Jared. We appreciate it.
You need to lower that, hon.
Super awkward.
Yeah.
So there we go. Thank you. All right. Thank you so much for that introduction, Jared. My name is Adriana McGregor. I am a parent here in Brewster with kids who are involved in football and many other sports. I'm very excited to be joining this organization. I'll be currently serving as its treasurer. To build off of some of what Jared was saying, I think the best way to share with our town council people and supervisor and everyone in the audience, our goal is to share a draft version of our mission statement and what we are hoping to accomplish. The Brewster Southeast Youth Sports Organization is an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting, organizing, and administering youth sports to children in the Brewster Southeast community. Our mission is to foster a positive, inclusive environment for all youth athletes and families, develop a strong sense of community through teamwork, instill values of discipline, perseverance, respect, and sportsmanship, and ensure all athletes and families have an enjoyable and memorable experience in our programs. BSYS strives to create a supportive and encouraging atmosphere that helps every participant reach their full potential and cultivate a lifelong passion for sports and healthy living. So as you guys can imagine, a lot of what we've been doing behind the scenes is setting up a nonprofit organization, right? So there's a lot of paperwork and legalities and bylaws and things that we're doing while we are also simultaneously trying to provide a seamless transition for our youth athletes and make sure that our football and cheer seasons come off without a hitch. So we are very grateful for the partnership with the rec department, and we are very grateful for the partnership with the town of Southeast, and look forward to working together so that we can provide that excellent, high-quality experience for all of our kids. Does anyone else want to jump in?
Can you hear me? Well, my name is Michael O'Keefe. My family moved here about 7 years ago, and first of all, I'm honored that Jared and Mr. Durante thought highly enough of me to put me on this board. And my goal is, like Adriana said, I just want to see this flourish. I want to see the kids in the community want to come out to all the sports that we eventually put into this umbrella. I think that we have a very good group of people, and I appreciate any help that you guys give us along the way. Obviously, Jared's been great for us. And honestly, if there's something that you think that we're not doing right, or you want to help us along the way, point us in the direction that you think that we're not maybe following, please, we're all ears. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Jeff Tepper.
Hey, Jeff.
Wendy's neighbor. Ron Reed, who's not here tonight, and myself, we've been involved with Brewster football for over 10 years now. My older guy went through the program and graduated, and the one thing that Ronnie and I have, and these guys have, is this passion that football is only a vehicle to help little boys and girls become young men and women. That's your job as a coach, and that's your sole job as a coach. Yes, we're going to teach you how to win, because we don't teach people how to not be successful. So you do teach to win a game. As I was saying to Mike, they don't teach Mike as a fireman to run into a building if it's safe. No, Mike just runs in. So we teach to win, but the main emphasis is on the kid. The main emphasis is on helping little boys and girls become men and women, young men and women. You know, and when Ronnie and these guys asked me to join, football's been my life. I played in college and have coached youth football for over 30 years. So this is an awesome opportunity to take this program and to bring it back and to rise it again. So thanks a lot for all of your support on this also.
Yeah, so when Jared and I first talked, and Kathy and Patty left for other jobs within the town, I made a lot of phone calls. I talked to Kathy a lot, and all of your names came up, and I asked other people that were involved in the program. So I think Jared and the town are very confident that you guys are going to do what's good for these kids and for the town, and we're happy you're taking care of this for us.
I think
Thank you.
fantastic group. I know what an undertaking this was, and it was a huge concern for all of us. My kids are football kids also. I know Ron Reed very well, one of the best guys out there. And looking who's running this now, I have complete confidence, so I have to thank you all for taking it up.
Thank you.
And we are always here if you need us, if Jared
Yeah,
doesn't answer the phone.
open door. If you need anything, reach out. Always willing to help.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Jared, for giving us your update. Okay, we'll move along. I'd like to make a motion to open the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the correspondence.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the voucher list for $902,144.30.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to make a motion to waive the reading of the budget transactions and to accept such transactions as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll vote no.
Okay.
Eric voted no.
You hear that, Kevin?
Eric voted no.
I'd like to announce the meetings that will be held at 1360 Route 22, Brewster, New York, at 7 p.m. unless otherwise noted. Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Thursday, April 17th, 2025. We have a couple of resolutions.
You skipped number
You have
4.
this, you skipped the supervisor's report?
Oh, that's right, okay, I'm sorry. Go back to the supervisor's report. So we're kind of hoping we are through the winter and we don't have to snowplow anymore. We had a little more plowing and sanding and salting than we had planned. So that kind of hurt us a little bit, but I think we're doing well in some other areas. Mike from Highway actually has sold some equipment where we got a little money back. Ron informed me that there was a workers' compensation situation where when the person's out, we have to foot some of the salary, but then when they come back to work, workers' comp reimburses us, so we got a little back there. I think Will got us a little more money for an incident where someone cut trees they weren't supposed to cut, so that actually came in. So it was a pretty good month for us, I kind of would say. The highway payroll was almost 60,000 more because of the snow, but like I said, we've done okay in some other areas, so we're doing okay.
It's only 2 months, but,
Yeah.
you know, year over year, revenue's up 164,000, expenses are up 388,000, so we need to watch that trend.
Yeah.
So,
All right, then we'll go into the resolutions. The first resolution is purchase of public highway equipment. Now therefore be it resolved that the town highway superintendent is authorized to expand $48,932.64 to purchase a 2025 Dodge Ram 1500 pickup truck. And be it further resolved that the superintendent of highways shall comply with all state and local laws regarding procurement and expenditure of public funds before effectuating the foregoing purchases. And be it further resolved that the town accountant is hereby authorized and directed to encumber the funds necessary to secure payment of the aforementioned purchases. And be it further resolved that in the event the superintendent of highway requires an additional funds above the amount allotted, he will need further authorization by the town board to make such expenditure. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. So moved.
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
The next resolution is, there's a lot of words on here, Will. This is the adoption of local law number 2 of 2025. Geez, bear with me, there's a lot of numbers here. And so now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby adopts local law number 2 of 2025 pursuant to the municipal home rule law to amend chapter 54, building, construction, and fire prevention, sections 54-14A and D, chapter 55, buildings, unsafe, section 5513, Chapter 69, excavations and grading, section 69-17. Chapter 71, explosives and blasting, section 71-10. Chapter 78, freshwater wetlands, section 78-6E. Chapter 83, historic sites and historic districts, section 8313. Chapter 87, junkyards, section 87-10. Chapter 96, noise, section 96-10. Chapter 131, vehicles and traffic, section 131-11E. Chapter 138, zoning, section 138-89. All of the code of the town of Southeast has the same provide penalties for violations of the provisions of such chapters to increase such penalties. And be it further resolved that the town clerk be and hereby is authorized and directed to enter said local law in the minutes of this meeting and in the code book of the town of Southeast, and give due notice of the adoption of said local law by filing such with the Secretary of State of New York within the time required. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Question.
Hit me.
Really for Kathy, I
Okay.
guess, but will all these make it in that electronic code change, or are we gonna have to do another one?
So the annual one was done already,
Okay.
what it was done, they did it last month. I'm just waiting for the actual hard copies of the supplements that I need.
Yeah, with this many changes.
But this
we-
year,
we
but
might wanna do
I'm
another
actually
one.
under budget, because there were several people that did not require a hard copy anymore, so I was able to remove those. So I'm thinking I can start quarterly this year.
Okay, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It will say new law, though, like it'll be there in the code,
It just won't be
technically,
in
the
the
actual,
section. Got
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any new business?
I don't have any.
All right, I guess then we could go right into the recognition of the public. If anyone from the public would like to come up and introduce yourself, let us know what you're thinking.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Philip Kirchner. Hello,
Hey, Philip.
sir. The reason why I came here is because of the power outages we've been all having, and I'm sure you've all been seeing the increased costs from NYSEG. I think when you have increased prices, you should have increased reliability. This is not only a town issue, but it's a state issue and a national security issue. I'll address that briefly because I don't like keeping the mic too long. So, we're using 1850s Western Union technology invented by Morse for the telegraph to deliver 21st century communications, power, with increased power needs, as well as television. This is unheard of in the 21st century, actually. Where I lived for many years, where I actually grew, was in the city of Naperville, in a small state of Illinois in the American Midwest, the gateway to the Farm Belt, to home of the commodities exchange. But yet, I've been through 6 tornadoes in 10 years. Thank God not one hit my house, but I didn't lose power. It took one truck driver to hit a power transformer on the street on Route 34, which is Ogden Avenue, to knock out my power. That lasted 6 hours. They brought a transformer in right from the parts center in Naperville. That is called a well-managed city. That was done by Officer Prattle, who was a cop, who became mayor in the city of Naperville. 90% of their power lines are now underground, except the power transmission lines. Those are the big towers made from concrete and steel. There should be no reason that this year alone, a lot of the parts of this area had 5 power outages because of a tree going down and because DOT from the state does not want to do their job and cut the tree limbs. So I spoke with Assemblyman Slater, and we're going to be putting together a public bond issuance and trying to get it passed in Albany. And what that will do is raise money to bury them. It might include a $5 modernization fee, but I think for myself, I'm on medical oxygen at night from 9/11. That's where I got all that money to open my video game stores until I got very, very sick, and now I'm fighting major illnesses. But the point I'm trying to say is, it would be nice if the town supervisor would sign on to this and work with Assemblyman Slater and the rest of the legislature and try to get this passed, because this is so necessary. If we're to come, okay, Verizon won't even bring a fiber to my property at Riverside when it's over by Reform, because there's a little curve on that road that cars keep hitting, and the power lines go down, and then my Comcast modem acts up because the power amplifier is dangling, and that means water gets in, temperature changes. You have to turn on a little amplifier inside of it to keep it warm, so you don't get signal loss and ping problems. So if you're a kid and you're a video gamer, you're not going to be able to play games the way you used to, competitively. You know, or if you run a business and you're too sick to go into this, you can watch it from home. Or you could do the accounting from home. All that takes communications, and that's where I'll land my plane. And thank you so much for letting me address the town board. Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
It is a long one. You sat really far.
Good evening, Andrew Jarrett, Foggentown Road.
Hi, Andrew.
How's everybody tonight? All right, I'm exhausted. I've been to, well, I just had twins last week. I've been to several.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That makes kids 4 and 5, so I don't think this is new to me.
I have 5. I've been there.
I've been to a lot of county legislative meetings lately over the last year. I know I came and spoke with you. I spoke to you guys a little while back about my wife and my farm. And well, the issue of what we dealt with, or what we're still dealing with in regard to farming here in Putnam County, has now, to me, turned into a lot more from the county level. You know, there's a lot of things in regard to transparency and honesty on the county level that I'm really now starting to question. And one of the things that just came up the other day at, I'm not going to remember what meeting, it doesn't make a difference. We were talking about sales tax revenue for the county. And Mr. Durante, you did sign, along with the other 5 mayors and supervisors of the county, a request to get some of that funding back to our town. Eric Cypress, Mr. Cypress, you just mentioned that the expenses are up, right? There's obviously a need for some of that money to come back to our towns. It's shocking to me, and I'm originally from upstate New York, and I have family who's in politics, but one thing they said to the other night was that Putnam County is one of only 11 in New York State that doesn't share that sales tax revenue, which blows my mind. I mean, all of that is big money to go towards infrastructure. I mean, I thank you guys for paving Foggentown. I've only lived there for 2 years now, but that was a godsend to see happen, and everything that you guys, the highway department's done. But I guess to that point is my opinion, because I was at the meeting, they seem to have kicked the bucket and then not given the town supervisors and the mayors an opportunity to come back and talk. They were just trying to push it through. Do you know where that stands? Have you gone back to the legislators?
Actually, it's kind of funny. We got an email today from Jackie and Havley. There's a meeting at the end of this month.
Okay.
That we can go to and.
Fantastic.
And speak. And then a few days later is their vote.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I get just, and I don't know, I don't have a ton of time, obviously. I got a lot of things going on, but like I said, I've been to a lot of been to a lot of these meetings lately, and the one thing that I think got me to actually come here tonight and ask you about it ultimately was, one, I knew about the letter that you had signed, and then what really blew my mind was Legislator Yonke then mentioned that he spoke with you and that you stated you wouldn't know what to do with the money, which I find that tough to believe. I have been to several of these meetings. I have my own questions and concerns with Legislator Yonke and itself, so I didn't believe it to be true, which is why I'm here, just to simply bring it up.
Can I tell you what happened?
Absolutely,
He
please.
caught me off guard, and,
Yeah.
and I wasn't really thinking about it. It was like one of the first days I heard about it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I hung up the phone, I'm like, my God, we could use money.
Absolutely.
There's a ton of things we can use the money for.
Yeah.
And that's when Jackie, and
Good.
I started to talk. So yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
show up. I think it's the 24th.
Possibly.
For the record, we'll take any money.
Well,
Yeah.
and
Full stop,
I was going to
period.
say, I mean, listen, like I said, I've lived, my wife and I moved back here in 2020. This is our second time living back here. My wife grew up around here. So I know the area well. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things infrastructure-wise. This is one of the oldest parts of the country. I mean, I live on what used to be a cow path. And I understand the infrastructure opportunities, which again is why I took it with a grain of salt when he stated that, because I found it very difficult to believe that any town, after signing a joint letter, would say, yeah, well, we wouldn't know what to do with that extra money. But he also then fought for the town of Southeast to get the biggest chunk of it because of sales tax revenue, which I'm not quite sure exactly how it works. I'm far from an accountant and understand any
We
of
can't
that.
get that answer either, but we produce a large
Oh,
amount of it.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Well,
I
when,
wish we
when-
could.
When you look at the county and shopping and stuff, I
It's
mean,
us in Carmel.
yeah, that
80%.
without a doubt.
Our planning chairman says it's the car dealerships that we have
Okay.
that help us produce a lot.
I can see. I mean, with sales tax at the rate it
When a
is.
car is $50,000,
Yeah.
Well, I think you
Car
pay,
dealerships go to where you live.
Yeah.
tax.
That is true.
yeah.
It's based on where it's registered.
If you buy a car in Connecticut, you still pay Putnam County,
Yeah.
2 extra percent.
So, okay, I appreciate the honesty from you guys again. That's why I was here, just to try to understand, because I did not think that was the circumstance. And Mr. Larkin mentioned to your, we could always use extra money. I was at the physical services meeting last night, and as a local farmer and landowner, I understood there was a possibility of money from soil and water. Never understood how there was money from soil and water from the county that we could get. So it's the Part C funds that are given from the state, and it's based on a criteria. And the better we do on that criteria from the state, the more money we get, from the county level, right? So, and some of it's to do with MS4, which is very new to me, and I know like I discussed last night, it's all settled on us, the taxpayers and the towns and the county, to handle everything that we need to do from a state level. There's no funding, until I heard about this Part C funding. Now, my understanding, well, nobody could tell us last night where the application is, because not only is it for an opportunity for me as a landowner to do things in my circumstance. I have, you can call it a Class C stream that runs through my property. It really only runs when it rains. But it's a Class C stream to DEC. I have a little wetlands on my property. But with that, those funds are something that I could apply for, from my understanding, to do work that would better the water, that would better the soil on my property, which is what I'm trying to do with farming anyways. That's why I have animals. Again, we're in the Hudson Valley. We grow rocks really well around here, and that's about it. But if we can put more organic matter back on it, I can do my part on my 75 acres to create better soil for that water to filter through, which then all goes to everybody else. And there's money there that last night, the interim manager of soil and water, Neil Tolman, couldn't tell anybody how we could apply for. Now, Legislator Sage mentioned that when she was involved with the committee, that there was supposedly an application that she shared out with the towns that she covered. I think it's something to look into, especially because those funds are intended to go towards stuff for soil and water, which MS4 would fall into. A number that I heard Mr. Tolman say last night was around 800,000 of his mention. And again, the better we do, from his explanation, the better we do meeting those criteria every year, the more money we get in that Part C funding from the state. So there's an opportunity, which I think makes the most sense, that if we can better the soil and water here in the town of Southeast, or obviously across the county, but of course we want our unfair share here in Southeast, that we can then in turn find a way to create more money based on the opportunity we have to do better. I was here, and I can't think of the development at the last meeting that spoke.
Maple Road, I can't forget about
Thank you. Right, thinking about that, and when we're dealing with chemicals, we're dealing with bad water, is there a possibility to take some of that funding? So I do think it's something that it's worth the town looking into. I'm going to look into it. I'm hoping they publish the application that is supposedly out there that's not on the website for the county. That's a whole nother story I'll stay off of right now, but it's out there, and I just want to make sure it was brought to your guys' attention. Don't know where you guys stand with it, if you were even aware about this Part C funding, but it seems to be not being used over the last several years, and I think it's a great opportunity for the town and all of us to get what we can.
Yeah, definitely. I'll ask around. I'll talk to Mike Lawler
Yeah.
I think it's probably up near his level for us to be able to get something like that.
Well, I think it's on the county level. I do. My understanding is it is on the county level. There is a soil and water board that meets, I think, the last Wednesday of every month. It is a public meeting. I'm hoping to go to it next week and see what it's all about. Legislator Elner is on that board. Neil Tolman, the interim manager for soil and water, is there. The process goes through them. I don't know if they need to run it up to the state, but I do believe it's really more at the county level. So again, it's just a matter of finding out what's this application process? What projects are we working on as a town that affect MS4 that ultimately affect these opportunities? Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, there's an opportunity to take the burden off of the current budget and tax base if we can get state funding that is there that is meant to take care of this, and then the town has the opportunity to take the money that's being spent on that project now and use it somewhere else that can benefit the town and the community in a better way. So
Yeah.
I think those are the only two things I had.
We appreciate that.
But I appreciate your honesty and openness about that. I'll probably see you at the meeting, sir. For the sales tax, because I think that's a huge opportunity. I personally would rather see my property tax go down. I could care less about the sales tax. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm also a farm, so I sales exempt, but listen. All right, but yes, no, that's all I have. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate what you guys do. And again, the honesty and transparency is by far the biggest issue. The farming issue, I'll deal with that. I can try to find ways to work when I have time to work with you guys in the county to try to, bring farming back to the community. My wife and I raise food. I'm not a horse farm. I'm not trying to do anything. I want to give back to the community. And I'm just trying to find ways to do that with the help of the county and the town and everything. And I am going to talk to Jared as well, because we do have baby goats. And that might be an opportunity. Just farming in general, agriculture might be a good opportunity for rec stuff. We've been approached by other towns and stuff, so too. That's something to think about.
The whole world is hooked on baby goats right now.
Oh my God, I have 5 of them right now.
Oh.
Yeah, it's fun.
You could get me into an unmarked van if you tell me there's a baby goat in there.
They are adorable. They are adorable.
Very cute.
Yes, but yeah. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing what you guys can find out about all of that opportunity monetarily, and we'll talk to you later. So
Thank you.
all right, thank you guys.
Good luck with those babies.
Yes.
The goats or the humans?
Both kids. So it's really weird when I talk about having new kids. Nobody wants to talk about goats and humans.
Human kids.
Mr. Seaman.
Ooh, there's cookies. Hey, Scott.
Evening, Scott Seaman, Town of Southeast, here from the Brewster Board of Education. I'd first like to say my daughter's college has baby goat yoga like once a month.
I'd be all in.
The only time every kid goes to school is baby goat yoga day. First, I'd like to thank the town and Jared and everybody for putting together the sports association. This is the feeder program for the schools. So this is wonderful to see. Jeff coached my son Mike in football as well, so the people that are on this board are going to do fantastic work, and we're hoping for it. And I can't speak for the school, but I'm sure they're on board as well.
Yeah, I was really happy to see who ended up.
Yeah, the people involved are the right
Really
people.
good group.
This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Brewster High School musical, Once Upon an Island. I think it's Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, probably at 2 o'clock on Saturday. I believe the Performing Arts Boosters are also doing a Friday night dinner and a show where there's a pasta dinner at the Elks followed by the show. So it's dinner and a show for you people that are forced to take out your wife or other spouse. It is available. And it's supposed to be a fantastic show. Well, I speak from personal knowledge. You people might have a better deal than I do. Just want to get some information out. We are right now, as you know, in the middle of budget season. Everything's being finalized. There is an item that has started to show up, and I just wanted to get out to the community before the words that getting out and get out the proper perspective on what's going on. Back in 2022, we had a bond vote on improving the school district, the buildings, and the facilities. and the resources for our children and staff. It passed through the community. There was two parts to it, a $60 million bond and a $23 million bond that are well into. The first project is almost complete. We'll be rolling into the second. Now, due to proper planning and good weather on the first part, it looks like we're going to have an overage. And due to delays from the state and the adding of a fire road, putting all of our services underground, as this gentleman has known, we're doing that at the schools now. These are items that are coming from the state. So the second part is having a shortage. So there will be a proposition on the budget vote to move the money. This is not a new tax levy. This is not an adjustment. This is not new debt. This is not an expansion of anything. It's just moving the funds from one to another so we can complete the project as is posted. That's the information that's out, and we'll be following out with more through social media, through other town meetings and other options. And as always, the board and the district are open for any questions or interviews, any problems that are people, any concerns, please bring them to us. We just want to get out the information so that what is going on is the proper perspective. We won't tell you one way or another how to vote, but we just want the information to be out there.
Just got a question. I was on that board, when we
Facilities
went to,
project?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
And if I recall, they broke it up into different pieces for voting, so
Yes.
that if you wanted one, not the other, maybe they wouldn't both pass, but maybe they would.
Right.
So that is the reason why they're separate and you have to transfer the money?
The second
So-
piece, since they are separate bonds, separate
If they
votes.
were presented to the
If they were
committee
as one, it wouldn't be a question, it'd be one
Okay.
pool of
So
money.
this is left pocket, right pocket? Just-
Right.
Okay.
Just an alteration, and the second part was more of the projects to improve the STEAM tech, our NJRC to ROTC program, which is one of the gems of the school, improving their facilities. And I forget what the technical term is, the new sports shed or project that they're building out in the back by the high school.
Field house, right?
Field house, that's the technical
Sounds
term.
much better than shed.
Yes, well, it's a very big shed, but that's the information that we wanted to get out there and just to make sure everybody knew. Just wanted to follow up on some additional information. I was at the Village of Brewster meeting yesterday, and their code enforcement was in, and they had just come back from a code meeting. I guess right now there's new code training going on yesterday and today, and they came back with some alarming information, which I've been seeing coming out for a while. This whole re-electrification of the state, whether it's in the new code or it's coming into the new code, it's going to add a lot more electrical requirements, possible installations of charging stations, whether you want them or not. There also was talk of sprinkler systems for residential, which would put giant increases in costs. And also, they pointed out, due to the fact that a lot of our resources are based on wells, how properly would this work? We know a lot of the buildings around here have giant water tanks that they have to hold their sprinkler systems in. Is this something that's taken into account? So if we do have any mention, any more contact with our assemblymen, our senators, these are items we can still continue to point out, that if any of these items either are current, are coming, we're still in budget season, so there is some negotiation that can be going on, even though a lot of this is going to be based on fire code and other items which are totally unrelated. But the better prepared we are, the more informed we are. Hopefully we can get some type of result that is less hurtful. I'm not going to say beneficial, but I just wanted you to bring that to your attention.
Did they put a reason behind that?
Well, I know they update the fire code every certain number of years.
Yeah.
So, and probably in New York State, I'm sure Mr. Stevens knows more, but there's delays on it. It's New York State.
Did they
They love to
mention-
do things, and
Did they mention for the residential if that was going to be new construction or?
New
just
construction
New
only.
construction.
I think
Okay.
right now
and they weren't specified if it was a multi-dwelling units or just single family. It's just, there's a considerable
After-
amount of money that would be
After
added
so
to
many
Three
the
floors.
cost of
floors,
any
yeah.
construction.
We're
The
actually
third
working-
floor, you need an exit. You need another way.
Yeah,
you
ingress,
need
egress,
like
egress,
a,
exit
whether
driveways.
it's a ladder or some kind of, I do know that because I do have a third floor that's.
Not all of us have a 3-story.
Yes, hey. listen.
Well, when you have 5 children, you need a
Mine's an
3-story
attic.
house.
Yeah, that's where,
Yeah.
it's an attic. It's where our
Right,
junk
I know.
is. Right.
Put the kids in the attic, good
Yep,
place.
yeah.
We are
perfect.
working with the fire department. They've requested some updates. Nick would know more than I do. When we review projects that we hold them to a higher standard, but I wasn't aware of this, so thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the fire department's gonna be pushing around, because they are looking to, build a new firehouse. That just came up at the village. They've been declared, I guess, the lead agency is the fire department now on this, so. Once again, thanks for your attention. If there's anything, please let us know.
Thank you. Jared, you should probably talk to the fire department, because they're gonna be using Markel. There'll be some disturbance there. Before I forget.
In the immediate future?
I don't know.
More disturbance at Markel, yay.
Yeah, they're building the new building next to the old.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. I just
No,
don't know what the time.
What?
not with the fields are.
Not where the fields are, but the parking lot accesses.
Yeah, it doesn't impact
Could.
parking.
Would anybody else like to share a comment? Okay, does anybody from the town board have a comment?
No.
I actually have a comment before you unplug your microphone. Actually, I just wanted to put a kind of shout out. April 26th and 27th, we have Earth Day. Kathy's gonna do a little more than what we did last year, because we came in, and Earth Day was like 2 days later,
Right.
so.
We're working with the schools to do like a poster contest and things like that with the kids. Meeting with our teachers to get their involvement in it, and hopefully that put their pictures up on the website and, post them around town and things like that on the.
It's a great
in the
idea.
Families
buildings.
involved.
Get
So,
the families involved.
And one of the reasons I mention this, because it's been a little image in my head. If you're going down 684 at the intersection of 84 and 684, where the truckers pull over sometimes, the garbage there is ridiculous. Like I sent an email to the two DOT regional directors, and he actually called me back today and told me that they've actually been to this site, and there's some disgusting things going on that are on the floor there, and they're trying to figure out how they're gonna clean it up. But
Where is it?
it's right on the intersection of where 84 comes into 684, on the hard turn there, where the trucks always flip over to. Right behind the guardrail. I actually said to the director, I would assume it was a tractor trailer that flipped over and all the stuff kind of just went against the guardrail, but he says he doesn't think it's that. He thinks it's people littering and throwing out garbage bags, and it looks hideous. And then that makes me look around Route 6, Route 22, and it's just it's disgusting. I would hope that if residents see this, it's on us too, not to throw stuff out our window.
Yeah.
It's not hard to throw your items on the floor in your car and then go clean your car out. Because, we gotta look at this stuff, and I know that I've been here a long time and I don't like to look at garbage on the road. So hopefully we get a good draw on Earth Day, and we get like 1,000 bags or something. Maybe Jared will get you to help with the school stuff and whatever, But, that's my little spiel on litter.
Actually, Jared is helping, because we're gonna have a little contest, and the winners will get a gift certificate to, some
Ride around with
money off some of
Jared.
the rec programs.
Oh, that's a good idea. Great.
Yeah, so, but that's all I have. If anyone has nothing else, I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.